So welcome back to my channel. This is not gonna be like my normal videos will be on this channel, which is that of course, record with my face being in view, but I'm having issues with my camera, so I'm not going to. Today I wanted to talk about Trump's tariffs. Um, yeah, I don't really like to talk about this, but I think for my second video, it's been the main thing weighing on my mind. And I think the main thing is I just hate seeing a lot of the responses we're getting. Let me explain why it bothers me, this tariff situation. It's not just because the price of everything is going up. I think every American who's not a diehard Trump supporter understands this. I think even Republicans are starting to understand this. The problem with the tariffs is people aren't even waking up to how much shit is going up. Like the other day, so I'm a big comic book collector. I have a huge comic book collection. I go every week to the comic book shop, including this week. I'm going Tuesday when they put out the new books, and I buy new comics. And I'm talking the weekly issues, which are like $5. Well, Image Comics the other day said they're upping their price of their comic books. And I don't know how much it's going to be. I haven't seen the full price yet. Nobody will really know once they really what the price of these things are going to look like until you're in a store trying to buy something you normally buy and you notice the price difference. That's really what's going to happen, and nobody really knows. But they announced their comic books are going up, and you sit there and think, wait a minute, they don't even make paper here in the States, and it's such an odd thing to think about like that. But yeah, most paper's made with wood. Most wood lumber imports come from Canada, so this is where we're at, and this is the problem. And so you see all these Trump supporters who see their only response to seeing Funko, Mattel, these toy companies, Walmart, Home Depot, Target, Nintendo had to delay pre-orders of the Nintendo Switch because of Trump's tariffs and how much the cost of everything is going to be. They literally are telling you we have to raise the price of this. And you see these Trump supporters in the comments go, good, make it here in the U.S. As if it's an easy thing to do. As if, you could just magically do that. And this is the problem. So if you are a Trump supporter, listen up here and let me school you on why that doesn't make any goddamn sense. First of all, when they make these goods overseas that you pay for, they are made with cheap Chinese labor. We're talking, not just Chinese labor, but cheap overseas labor of people who aren't getting paid that well to make these things. They're not getting paid very well. Like, you think about your job here in the States, it may not pay you great either, but you're getting paid and have better working conditions and rights because that's what your country allows. This country being the United States. And so I understand that you might hear that and go, well, that sucks that people overseas are being forced for cheap labor. Yes, it does. And don't get me wrong, that's a shitty thing that happens. But until we can't control how the rest of the world handles labor, but we can control how our goods are made. So that is the problem. Now U.S. has to make it here in the States. Okay, well, if the U.S. makes it, if these U.S. companies make it here in the States, they have to open factories, they have to work at new offices, work buildings, whatever it is, hire all these people, and pay them more than they were paying the people overseas to make it. And so do you think that money's free? No, it's not free. They're going to be so they're going not only are they so either way, these companies are going to be either have to pay the cost of the tariffs and pass that along to us, the consumers, or they're going to have to spend the money to make it here in the States, which is not going to be cheap either because you're going to hire a bunch of new workers, build new offices, build new factories, and that's not going to work. And also, people don't understand how long this shit has been going on. If you have been making toys outside the U.S. since the 1960s, they're not going to change now. Cars have not been made in the U.S. since like the invention of cars. And so we're just seeing all these dumbass Trump supporters saying, good, make it here in the U.S. That ain't how it worked, buddy. Shut the fuck up. I want, and like, yes, I actually want majority of things here made in the U.S. Like, don't get me wrong, I do want that because I don't like people being abused for overseas labor. I think that sucks. But theoretically, at this point, we are too far gone with that. We are a global economy, and our politicians should have done shit like this back in the 1960s. And then what's going to happen now is they're not going to actually get new workers to do it here in the States. They're just going to build machines and robots to do it for them that they don't have to pay. And so you've screwed millions of workers out of their jobs, including American workers, because now this company can't afford to pay them because now the cost of shit going up. And you're just like, what are we doing? I mean, I saw a video of over 900 auto workers being laid off and walking out the building. What the fuck are we doing? And the worst part is there is no way out of this. Trump will not learn. We've done this for 4 years. He says, yeah, I'll lift the tariffs here, I'll lift the tariffs there, but he's done so much damage already with the tariffs that ain't going to be able to be reversed for years. And I do mean years. It is going to be another pandemic scenario where, I'm not saying this will be another pandemic, but what I'm saying is that the economic damage from the pandemic we are still feeling now, we'll feel it then. And so I'm just done with it. I'm just done with everything. So I've started putting money in savings, as I think a lot of Americans have. You're hearing a lot of reports of that. I've started, looking at the things I buy and trying to cut it down, being like, I get 2 pre-orders a week. Well, let's cut it down to 1, whatever it is. And I'm just done. And I think a lot of Americans are done too. So I just encourage everybody who's upset by everything to budget your money well, do your best to survive. I'm sorry if bad things happen to you. My heart goes out to you, but if you voted Trump, you deserve this. And I hate to say it like that, but you literally chose not to listen to anybody. You are in the age of information where if somebody tells you something and you choose not to believe it and not Google search to fact check it and go, hey, is this true? Then you're a fucking idiot and you don't deserve to live a peaceful life because you chose to actually actively take away the rights of trans people, take away the rights of millions of Americans, and send us into this economic downfall because you couldn't just do 2 seconds of a fucking Google search or trust the people who are telling you the facts. And it's not, and so I hope my hope is not to make you feel bad about this. My hope is to make you understand your actions have consequences just like everything does. And you need to get off your ass and vote Democrat next time. And that's not to say my party's perfect, because it ain't. It has many problems that I am criticizing on a daily fucking basis. But god damn, this Trump shit ain't the answer. And I hope Americans will learn and do better. But unfortunately, they didn't learn the first time Trump was in office. So who's to say they'll learn the second?